I wish I'd learned this sooner about lavender, because whether or not you like a lavender-heavy fragrance can have a lot to do with what kind of lavender is being used, because as you can see here, there's many kinds and they all smell pretty different. For example, I've heard a few people say they're surprised by my fragrance Passing Stranger because it has a strong lavender note that's not super harsh and herbal, and that's because I basically built it around my favorite lavender ingredient. And the type of lavender I used is called true lavender, and specifically a high elevation true lavender. But what makes that so special? Well, lavender comes in different species and they all smell a little different because they have different chemicals in them. But even within a species, they can smell different depending on where they're grown and at what elevation. For example, spike lavender is very common, and if you were to buy a random lavender essential oil, it probably will be this, which isn't low quality or anything, but it's going to smell more camphorous and a little harsh because it has more camphor and eucalyptol in it. Now compare that with my favorite lavender, which is a different species called true lavender, which is naturally more floral and sweet to begin with, but then apparently when it's grown at higher elevations, it becomes even more so. Now the reason my fragrance Passing Stranger has such a smooth lavender note in it is because I basically put a bunch of this stuff in it. But there's another reason why sometimes lavender fragrances can be a bit harsh, and it's because they're not using any lavender. They're using dihydromercenol instead, which is like an aggressively fresh, citrusy lavender type smell.